early look ahead to the NFL games that are being played in the upcoming week. We talked about Monday Night Football already, Raiders Chargers. There's some interesting and intriguing ones, I would say, as you try and break down what's going to happen. I think the best game, Bills Chiefs. When I actually look at this and start to analyze and break down that game. What do you see? Kansas City 3-point favorite. That's Sunday Night Football. I think that's probably, you tell me if you disagree, but just in terms of overall sexiness of matchups, that seems to me to be by far the best one, although the Thursday Night Football game is pretty good too with Rams Seahawks.
I think you highlighted the two marquee games of the weekend, and suddenly that Rams Seahawks game, in the wake of what transpired on Sunday, takes on added importance. I mean, the Rams looked flat as a board. I think a lot of us saw that coming in the wake of their win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers the previous Sunday. They just couldn't slow down Arizona in any capacity. Meanwhile, Seattle, they looked dead and buried early on against the 49ers. They're able to get a big win in the division. And suddenly these two teams have a chance to make a major statement on a short week, given the familiarity of opponents. Meanwhile, the Sunday nighter, and look at Sunday Night Football. I mean, I sent out a tweet last night. Other than the Bears-Rams game, every game that NBC has televised this year, I think it's now 4 out of 5, has been decided by less than a field goal. So Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth are getting their money's worth, and I don't think this game will disappoint either. You have playoff revenge working in Buffalo's favor in a game where I'm sure they were extremely disappointed for their performance in the AFC Championship. And I think a lot of people will see this as a very good buy low spot for the Kansas City Chiefs, who finally broke into the win column ATS-wise with a 42-30 victory against the Philadelphia Eagles. But I may take on a slightly different approach. I wouldn't be shocked at all if you see money coming on the Bills. Buffalo, at least through the early portion of the season, Pittsburgh game notwithstanding, I think that'll continue to be an anomaly, has looked like a absolutely dominant force. Now, this defense will truly be tested a heck of a lot more against Kansas City than they were against the Dolphins, the Washington football game, and the Houston Texans. But let's not ignore the fact in the modern day and age, no matter who you're playing, Buffalo has pitched 2 shutouts in the last 3 games. I can't wait to see Sunday Night Football, and I think it suggests fireworks galore with the largest total to date so far this season, with that number in that 57 and a half.
I know we're breaking down a lot of college football in the NFL, but tomorrow, Yankees-Red Sox, which is a heck of a play-in game. The Yankees, basically, almost even money, minus 115. The two teams end up with almost identical records. Next day, Cardinals going up against the Dodgers in the wild card play-in game. Pretty wild that you could end up with 106 wins like the Dodgers did and be in a one-game to decide it all play-in scenario with the Cardinals. Any early read from you on how you think those games might go?
I mean, Major League Baseball has to love this. I don't think they'd love the prospect, though, of seeing the New York Yankees and then the Dodgers knocked out in the span of 24 hours with 2 of the biggest coastal brands out there.
Yeah.
But these games have potential to break all sorts of records as far as single elimination type scenario. And you talked about the Dodgers. Let's give the Giants credit. San Francisco had so many chances to flinch over the latter portion of the schedule. If you'd have told me before the year, Clay, that the Dodgers go over their season win total, but that's not good enough to win the division, I'd have called you absolutely nuts. When you look at the Red Sox-Yankees game, Garrett Cole has struggled at Fenway against these very Red Sox, and the fact he's a modest road favorite was a little bit surprising to me, but I think that total's a touch low at 8.5. I know it's going to be all hands on deck, and we're not quite sure how the starters will last, but I think we're talking about 2 offenses that are more than capable of putting together big performances. So early lean is over 8.5 in the AL game. And when you look at the National League game, Adam Wainwright has been here, done that. He'll clearly have his hands full. No one gave the Cardinals credit in early August where they were upwards of 300-1 to win the World Series. I'm not going to rule them out. And while baseball will be rooting for the Dodgers to have a chance to defend their title, I'd be looking at the Cardinals plus a 1.5. I think St. Louis has that look and feel of a true Cinderella. And what greater storyline than if they could knock off Goliath in a one-game showdown and move on to play the San Francisco Giants in the NLDS.